Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Sports. I'm Sean. Starting off with news in the NFL, this past weekend in the Patriots game, Rob Gronkowski tore his ACL. He's out for the year, he's being shut down, and this is going to be a major blow for the Patriots. Their offense this year wasn't really what it's been known to be over the last couple years until he came back from his injuries at the beginning of the year. So now it's you got to wonder, are the Patriots going to be able to return or keep up their level of offense, or are they going to slide back to that very, very ineffective offense that they had previously? This is a big concern for them. They are running with a lot of young receivers, first-year, second-year guys. The most experienced guy they have is Danny Amendola aside in the receiving corps. I mean, obviously they have Tom Brady, so I think overall they're going to be okay. Their offense just probably isn't going to be as explosive as it's been over the last half of the season. So this is a big blow for the Patriots. Also in this news, though, Gronkowski is still going to be in the Entourage movie, so there's that, I guess. And to bring up the Christmas spirit, Andre Johnson held his 7th annual toy drive. This toy drive, it's really fun. It looks like he's doing a great job with this. What it is he has underprivileged kids that aren't going to be able to have toys or things of that nature, and he takes them to a Toys R Us and he gives them 80 seconds, because that's his number on his jersey. He gives them 80 seconds to run around and grab whatever they want. The toy drive this year totaled out to being over $17,000, but I mean, this is great news. It's a really good cause, and I'm glad that he's doing this. So I hope he keeps it up, and hopefully all these kids have a great Christmas. Also, in an interview with Roger Goodell, he mentioned that the NFL, they're thinking about moving replays during the game when a challenge flag is thrown or touchdowns, that is being sent to a centralized location. Instead of being looked at on the sidelines at the field there when it happens, they're thinking about doing this like a digital over the internet kind of connection thing, where it's sent to a centralized location, looked at there by one person only, or one team, and then sent back with a decision. This is similar to how the NHL does theirs. Whenever they have a challenge or they have to have something reviewed, they send it to a centralized location as well in Toronto at the headquarters, and then they send back the answer. So I really think that this can be a really good thing. I think that if they have one team, one person doing this, they can come up with a more uniform decision of what every call is, instead of, 1 week it's this ref deciding it's this way, and the next week the different ref is deciding it's that way, even though it's the same play. So that's one correction that they're thinking about doing. This would come up in the talks of with the competition committee in the spring meetings. So we are, I don't know, 3-4 months away from that. So we still have some time. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, that's not the only thing that needs to be changed. There's lots of things that need to be changed in when you have the challenge flags going out, when you have plays in question. There are a lot of things that need to be reviewed or changed or thought of in a different manner. One of the things that I like to think of is like how in a title fight, a lot of the time the judges give the benefit of the doubt to the title holder, and the contender has to come out, and kind of like rise above that, the champ. So kind of in that whole aspect, it's kind of like when there's a play on the field, it's called a certain way. Sometimes the ref lets the play go so that it could be a fumble. That way, when they do look at it, if there's different ways to look at it. When you have conclusive evidence or unconclusive evidence, it's either going to fall back to what that call is, or they're going to change it. So sometimes, instead of doing that, they should just call a play, review the play, how it looks, instead of making their decision, letting what they called on the field determine what their decision is after they review the play. Sometimes if it's undeterminable, then leave it alone, and call it what you see it. Maybe sometimes not do a cop-out when saying it's inconclusive. So there are different things like that I think that could be tweaked, and there's a lot of stuff going on with this rule that can be tweaked. So hopefully we'll hear more before the spring meetings. And a little bit of news connecting a player in the NFL, Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, connecting him over to the Texas Rangers. Just this past week, it happens every year in December, was the Rule 5 draft for the Major League Baseball. This draft is almost like a compensatory draft. What it is it keeps teams from stockpiling young players on their team. If you have open roster spots on your 40-man roster, you're able to draft. If you don't, then you can't draft. So you can skip the draft, you can participate in it, but what you can do is pick up any player from any minor league team. Russell Wilson was drafted, I think it was 2010, by Colorado, and he's been on a minor league list of restricted. But because he's on that minor league, rights to Colorado, they can't hoard him, so someone picked him up. Texas Rangers picked him up. So this is really cool. It's really interesting. I think it maybe could lead to a possible Deion Sanders type thing, Bo Jackson type of thing, where he plays a little bit of baseball, then comes into the NFL and plays his regular season. He has stated that he wants to go to spring training. He hasn't played baseball in the minors in a couple years. He's been focusing on football, but I think it's all cool. It's fun and games, and he's a professional athlete. He's got leadership qualities, and he's got a good arm. I mean, this would be pretty cool for him, and it'd be nice to see a guy that can transcend from one sport to the next. It'd be really interesting. Controversial news in Major League Baseball this week. The news is coming out that they are looking to ban home plate collisions. Now, depending on how you are, if you're old school, you're new school, you're younger or older, you might look at this based on the age of baseball you grew up watching or playing. A lot of old school players, and fans will see it as like, oh, what? They might be up in arms. This takes out a pivotal moment in a game that could turn the tide, turn the momentum, shake somebody up, get the pitcher unnerved. This can change a whole game with one collision, whether it's safe or out. On the side of like the younger people that are fans of, let's say, a Buster Posey, this one event, this one play had such a detrimental effect to the San Francisco Giants just a few years ago. A collision broke his leg, and he was done for quite a long time. I think it was the whole season, the rest of the season. So something like this, in somebody like a younger kid's mind, could very well be taken out of the game and not be noticed. Because, I mean, in Little League it doesn't happen, Babe Ruth it doesn't happen, Pony Leagues it doesn't happen. So, I mean, depending on how you look at it, you might view this as something that is blasphemy, and you guys might look at this as something that's very positive. I, on the other hand, think of this as a positive thing. I played lots of baseball in my youth, all through high school, and I've never had the chance to run somebody over at home plate. I mean, I played football as well, and I enjoyed hitting people, but for baseball, baseball's not a contact sport, really. So, to me, having the home plate collisions there is just leaving this opportunity for major injuries. And what happened to Buster Posey, not only him, but other people as well. Pete Rose did to a guy in an All-Star game, and essentially after that year, he was done. His career was over. So, taking this out can prolong the careers of topless catchers, some very good catchers in the game, and it can help them out. They don't come a dime a dozen. They are very, very, very rare when you get a great catcher. Buster Posey was a great catcher, and then he got hurt. It changed a lot of things that year. So I am for this. How do you guys feel? Let me know. And last but not least, a little bit of cool, fun, interesting news. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, big Bulls fan, as you guys can tell and see. Michael Jordan, back in the playoffs, there was a game called the flu game. He was sick and he scored over 30 points. He willed his team to win. And that game, there was a ball boy that was giving him applesauce throughout the game. His only task was to give him applesauce. And because he did that, help him feel okay, help Jordan feel fine, the kid was giving Jordan shoes. They were the 12s. And these have been because of this game, they've been called the flu game shoes. He was given the shoes, Jordan signed them, and now it's been, what is it now, been almost 15 years about, give or take. And the kid, well, probably an adult now, he decided to, auction them off. And the shoes went for over $100,000. So I just think it's pretty awesome that a pair of shoes that have such reverence that people look at and just like, oh man, those are the shoes from that game. That's pretty awesome. Over $100,000. The only other shoes that I think that could probably go for this much would probably be the shoes that he wore during the last game of his career with the Chicago Bulls. That he made one of the probably top 2 shots he's ever made in his career. When it's just called the shot. It was his last game as a Bull. He puts it up over Byron Russell, and and just makes it. Those shoes might go for as much, I think. Either way, this kid's coming up $100,000. It's pretty awesome, and I wish this would have happened to me. Alright guys, that's it for this week in sports. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe buttons down below. Leave your comments, questions, inquiries in the comment section as well, and let's have a great conversation. We'll see you next time.